Hey everyone, today I want to talk about the PSLF program, and specifically what I want to do is I want to talk about the automated employment verification system that MOHELA has instituted. So this is something that's new for PSLF, and employment verification used to be done by paper, but MOHELA, who took over the PSLF program last year, said that their preferred method of verification, employment verification, is electronic. So for anybody in HR or for anyone who's with an employer and you're in charge of the PSLF program and the employment verification, this is a quick video that I think you'll find helpful in navigating the new automated system. Okay, so again, there's new guidelines for the process of employment verification. You can still do the paper method, but just keep in mind it's going to be slower. There's going to be more room for human error, and PII, or personal identifiable information, is going to be at greater risk because it's going to be on paper. You're going to have to fax it. It's going to get faxed somewhere. It's going to be visible to other people. So you can still do it, but again, it's not the preferred method of employment verification. So what is employer verification? For those of you that are new to this process, or maybe you have employees who are new to the process, keep in mind that we're working on 4 years of graduates who haven't had to make any student loan payments, let alone go through the PSLF program. So every year, the employee must certify that they work for what is called an eligible employer. And this is separate from the income verification process, which for those borrowers who are in an income-driven repayment plan, they have to do annual income certification. So this is separate from that. Again, MOHELA, who is the loan servicer, since last year, they created the electronic verification process here. So the way that you should do this as an employer, first of all, just communicate to your employees that you're going to be using the electronic verification system, and then let them know what email address they should send requests for verification to. We think that the best practice is to create a separate dedicated email for PSLF. You can call it whatever you'd like, but you may have somebody who's in charge of the verification process, especially if you're a smaller organization, and it might go directly to their email. But we feel that it's best to create a separate email address for PSLF purposes. And then if you do have an IT department, or if you contract with someone in IT, or just have somebody that helps with IT, just make sure that they confirm that any of the emails from the new address don't get caught in spam filters, either in and out. Okay, so when the employee goes to submit the employment verification form to MOHELA, you, the employer, are going to receive an email from DocuSign, and it will be on behalf of the Department of Education's Office of Federal Student Aid. You'll see the email address here. This is the email address where the communications will come from. It's DSE_NA4@DocuSign.net. And this email is going to request that you certify that the employee works for you. And you have 60 days from the date the employee submits that document to MOHELA to return it. If it gets caught in spam filter, as I mentioned, or if you have if somebody changed positions in the organization and nobody checks the email, what's going to happen if you don't certify and verify that request within 30 days, and the employee is going to have to restart the entire verification process all over again. So as I said, as far as tips and best practices, we feel that the best course is to use a dedicated email, because you may have somebody changing roles within the organization, or they may leave the organization altogether. So you want to make sure that somebody's constantly monitoring that email for any requests for PSLF or any other communications for PSLF. This isn't something that's really the responsibility of the employer. We just think it's a bit of a nice touch if the employer sends annual reminders that employees should start the employment certification process. At our firm, that's something that we do. So for our clients who are eligible for PSLF, we let them know, hey, now is the time you're going to want to start the process. So we do that. Again, we think it's a nice touch for the employer to do that if it's not too much of a challenge. And then the employer can also help with section 4 of the form, and that's the employer information. So it's going to be the EIN, the address, the employment period that the employee works or worked for the organization, their average number of hours per week, and whether they worked full-time or part-time. And you can send this information to employees with annual reminders or have it posted internally. We'll just leave that up to you, because maybe you don't want to have to repeat this process over and over. But again, I'll leave that up to you just in case you don't want to have that information circulating about, but it's something that you could do. And again, as I said, there's a lot of borrowers who have never gone through the PSLF certification process, the employment certification process, and have never paid student loans because we've had essentially 4 years of graduates who they've graduated and we've had this national forbearance on student loans. So for employees who don't really understand the process, send them over to studentaid.gov, and there is a help tool ninja for the PSLF program. And that's a great place to start. It has a ton of information. Anyway, I hope that helps. It's not a terribly difficult process to set up, but it is new. So if you do have any questions, happy to help. We do work with student loan borrowers in both PSLF and non-PSLF, and then we work with organizations that have the same situation where it's just they have student loan borrowers as employees, or they have PSLF eligible employees as borrowers. So if you do have questions, you can reach out. The number is 480-605-1965. That's our direct line, or you see my email there. Thanks for watching. I'll be putting out some more content shortly because there's a lot of things happening in student loans here. It's the tail end of August, so we've got about 5 weeks left before student loans are going to restart, and also college planning is going to get kicked into high gear. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that's hitting this channel. So hope you find this useful. And again, reach out with any questions that you might have. Okay, thanks, and we'll catch you on the next video.